What's up, YouTube? It's Mr. White again. I'm back with Test Tack. I'm helping you make that 3, 4, and hopefully 5 on that AP exam in May. Today we're looking at the topic of pop versus folk culture. I brought in a good friend of mine, Salah, to help us illustrate this point. So we have two Egyptians here. One's very pop culture, one is very folk culture, and after this lesson, you'll understand the difference. Let's go. So when you look at pop versus folk culture, you need to really think of 5 distinctions. So I got this nice chart here. It's only 1 slide long, right? PowerPoint dream. The first real difference between pop culture and folk culture is where they are. So pop's widespread, folk culture's localized. So what does that mean, Mr. White? Great question, Billy. Right? Widespread means that popular. Pop culture is short for popular, right? I know we're not all popular. I'm not popular. But pop culture means that it is popular. It's widespread. It's found in many places. Whereas folk culture is quite the contrary. It's localized, found in a small place, one place. Not widespread. You can't find it anywhere. You have to go to a particular location. That's the first distinction between these. The next of our 5 is how does it change or move? Right? Pop culture is dynamic. This is a fancy college word for saying it's always changing. And what I mean by always changing is think back to the 5th grade version of yourself, right? You were weird and awkward. 6th grade version of yourself, even weirder and more awkward. 8th grade version of yourself, probably unbearable. Now you're starting to change to get better. We're trying to get that 3, 4, and 5. Culture is the same way. So let's take an example here. Musical taste, dynamic, right? You used to listen to Shawn Mendes. Then in the next month, Beyonce. The month after that, 21 Pilots. After that, back to T-Swift, right? New album, right? Then, oh my God, fangirl, BTS, right? And now you're really into Posty. I don't know what it is, but it's always changing. It's constantly changing. Static would be over here. These examples: traditional instruments, traditional songs, traditional dances that go with. They don't change, right? These instruments could have been found hundreds, thousands of years ago. These songs have been sung for hundreds and thousands of years ago. So pop music, always changing, right? You wouldn't get caught dead in a Shawn Mendes or Beyonce shirt now, right? So you have to constantly be right on the edge. It's overlapping. It's rewriting things, and that's the second. The third. How does it spread? So we have connected versus disconnected. So what we mean here, pop culture spreads very well using this thing called the internet. And because of the internet, you can really connect anywhere in the world very quickly, right? If you get the Wi-Fi symbol, the cell phone symbol, you're on your computer, your device, you're on the cloud, whatever you're in, and there's lots of infrastructure, which is our college word of the day, which means connections, electricity, gas, it's connections and telecommunications. All of those would be, it helps it spread quickly. So that's how it becomes widespread. That's why it's changing quickly. YouTube is a huge thing that helps spread pop culture. Folk culture, it's generally disconnected. They're living somewhere remote, somewhere exotic, somewhere extreme or rugged. And so because of that, the culture isn't impacted very much. The fourth, placelessness versus place. Now, we all know what a place is. It's somewhere unique and how you feel about it. Placelessness is when the human landscape kind of gets eroded into one. Look at this example, right? McDonald's, Starbucks, Aldi, Target. Basically, whatever corner you pull up to, all the stores are the same. It doesn't matter if you're in this country or that country. It's any town USA, any town world. You're going to see very similar things: coffee shops, fast food, grocery store. It's erasing the culture. Whereas place, you'll see it's unique. And we can go to a place like Xi'an in China, and these Xin City walls, you can see right here. Let me get my mouse. You can see right here, within the walls, preserved, pristine, as it was hundreds of years ago. Outside of the walls, thriving metropolis, big buildings. So you can actually see where pop and folk culture meet each other at the walls here, but they're not letting it through that wall. The last thing we're going to look at is clothing choices, right? I know you're in high school, clothing's important. You got to be cool, right? Mr. White, I get it. I'm cool. So for pop culture, you have what's called Universalize Clothing. And that means that no matter where you are, you can wear similar clothing. So we have this picture here, and this is not a paid advertisement for Adidas, but it's just showing that these ladies, no matter where they're from, Middle East, Asia, Europe, Latin America, doesn't matter, Africa, wherever they're from, they're wearing Adidas. The clothing looks very similar in all of these. And the last one is traditional, which means that if you go to Bulgaria, right, you'll see in the notes here. If you go to Vietnam, you'll see the aliyah. If you go to India or Pakistan or Bangladesh, you'll see the kurta for men. So we see that these clothing choices are very specific and unchanging. But the biggest thing is pop culture is always changing in this trying to erase folk culture. Folk culture is very unique. Yeah, that's pop and folk culture. Hope you make a 3, a 4, or a 5.